All right, we're good to go. We're back. It's another Sunday, another live stream. I've got my boxing buddies with me, Joshua 86 Boxing, Alex Cerro de la Vega. It's good to have you both back again for another Watch and Score live stream. We've got a classic fight coming up from 20 years ago. We've got loads to talk about that's happened in the last 3 weekends. And there's plenty to look forward to as well in the next weekend coming up that we will discuss after we've watched our fight. Hopefully everyone can stick around for that long. Hopefully we're going to be not too much over 2 hours, possibly. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Can see some people are already into the chat. Boz, hello. It's always good to see you around, Boz. Conscious Boxing also saluted earlier on. I think that was up way early, but hopefully might make it back for the actual stream. And welcome everyone that's new that might be here for the first time. Feel free to put some comments in the chat. We like to interact with you all and respond and let us know how you score in the fight as we score it as well. Also, you can put out some thoughts on the fights that we are talking about. So we're going to talk about last weekend's huge heavyweight showdown. First, let's get onto it. It was a massive fight. It was a great fight. Really fun, really interesting, really exciting. I'm pretty sure both of you boys have seen this. Alex, we're going to come to you first. Usyk beats Tyson Fury over in Riyadh. Give us your thoughts, just overall thoughts on the fight itself and the performances.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon to all. Robbery! No. Robbery. Man, when it comes to these big time fights, this was heavyweight. They say, heavyweight boxing is, the best boxing, the ones that brings, all the eyes, all the attention, and it's important to have the best fight the best in this weight class. This was an undisputed match, big Tyson Fury versus, Alexander Usyk, already undisputed champion. And what a battle it was, just watching it, you knew it was going to be a good fight as soon as we started to get it rolling, probably by second, third round. Fury was in control. You could see that the long uppercuts, being able to move around and jab. He was literally styling on Usyk as the fight was progressing. I think most people I spoke to agreed with me. I mean, he won probably about 5 straight rounds. But man, what makes a good fight is the ebbs and flows of it. And once Usyk started to get going, he got going. I mean, he turned that around, I think, at the end of the round 8. And in round 9, everyone remembers that. I mean, he hurt Fury. We've seen Fury dropped. We've seen him bothered by shots. But I don't think we've ever seen Fury that hurt. I mean, he looked like a sneak, like a man at the bar that was drunk looking for his car keys and just can't hold himself up. People thought Usyk, being a cruiserweight couldn't hurt Fury. Well, can't say that anymore. You could argue it could have been stopped. You can argue they could have stopped, called a knockdown before. But I think they did. We might have been robbed of a great fight. That fight went on. Usyk wins, split decision. How did I score it? I had it for Fury, but I was not upset with those scorecards because there was so many close rounds. It was a very competitive fight. Like I said, man, Usyk got the first round, maybe first 2. Some people had the first 3. Like I said, Fury, the middle rounds, and then Usyk, he closed on strong. So a fight for the history books. Undisputed, that's what we want to see. The 2 best give their best effort, and that's what we got on that day. Shout out to Riyadh season, Turkey Al-Sheikh, Tyson Fury, and the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk.
Perfect. Josh, do you want to add your thoughts onto that one?
Yeah, I'll just add that. Yeah, Alex pretty much summed it up in, the totality. What I will say is it's kind of the story of 2 fights there, as he alluded to, where you saw Usyk find his way after going through a little bit of adversity because Tyson Fury was landing some pretty solid shots on him, especially a couple of snapping, I want to say almost hook type of uppercuts that really pushed Usyk's head back. Now, this, I think, in some sense, kind of quells the notion, or at least provides some insight into some of the nuances when comparing fighters, as, of course, one of the big things that we've always noted with Fury is his size, and given his size as well as his ability from a footwork standpoint, him having some pretty solid speed overall and movement along with skill, that is one of the reasons that he's been highly favored in terms of just thinking about potential matchups with other boxers, I guess, of the past or other eras, just thinking about this era in general. And Alexander Usyk showed that in some cases, and we've seen this often with elite fighters, you can move up in weight and being what is considered a smaller fighter in theory, even though 6'3", 233 pounds isn't necessarily small, but you can move up in weight. And if you're a great skilled fighter, then yes, you can. And in most cases, or at least some cases, a great skilled fighter can beat another great fighter, even if their skill or whatever the circumstances surrounding them are, if they're moving up in weight. And I think Usyk showed that, and he did have Tyson Fury pretty much almost down and out on his feet in some sense, and the ropes did save him. But I do like the fact that Usyk, he just has that type of grind, and he had that mentality that he was going in there and he was not going to be bullied by the size of Fury. And I thought he did a good job, especially in that second half, in keeping Fury off of him and from being able to tie up and really wear him down as he's done some opponents in the past. So it's a notion, or it's actually a showing that certainly a great fighter can move up in weight and take out another fighter who is considered a great fighter. And then this size perspective, when we think about the big heavyweights, because we always talk about this as a big era, sometimes the size is one thing, but there's so many other factors that go into it. So it's not always going to be the trump card in some sense, just because you are the bigger fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just trying to get up the average scorecard there. You might have seen obviously on the screen, but my dodgy system ain't having it. What I will do is I'll get it up on this one instead. There's just not going to be any sound, which is fine. I mean, background music. So yeah, what I wanted to just quickly go through here is see what the scorecards say. Basically, I will mention that we got massive amounts of people on the site last weekend for this event, which was amazing. We had 157 scorecards, which kind of blows everything out of the water that we've seen before. So that's kind of promising. Hopefully, a lot of those people will come back. And actually, last night we had loads of people scoring as well. I think we had over 70 scorecards at one point. Wow. So yeah, hopefully that continues and we get a lot more people using the system, and also more people coming to the live streams as well. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly just run through the average scorecard, everybody combined, and that tells us a tale. Whether everyone agrees, I don't know. Alex, you're crying robbery still because you bet on Fury, so there's some bias there. That's fine. So yeah, the first 3 rounds it looks like we gave to Usyk, and then we gave Fury round 4, 5, 6, and 7. So he came on strong there. Round 8 was where Usyk started to turn it around, and round 9 was the big round. It was a knockdown. Yeah, he got a standing count, didn't he? So I guess that was a big 10-8 round. And then Usyk kind of went on from there, winning the next 2. The last round was really, really close, wasn't it? It could have been an even round. It could have gone either way. It looks like collectively we gave it to Fury. although the winning margin, interestingly, kind of sways over to Usyk, which is quite interesting. And that, so all of those 100 and whatever it was combined scorecards had it 7 rounds to 5, 115, 112 because of the knockdown round. But look, the winning margins are still very, very close. So that is quite a nice reflection, I'd say, of the overall way the fight went. So yeah, great night of boxing. It's just what the sport needed. An undisputed heavyweight champion. I don't know if that's all going to get fractured up in the next few months, and governing bodies are going to demand their titles get defended or whatnot. You got any insight on that, Alex?
Yeah. You know, it's expected for him to be stripped, it to be put up for the Hrgovic-Dubois fight. However, Usyk has filed an exemption, you know, due to the fight he just had, to, you know, maintain that and have it, you know, his next fight still be for undisputed, which, I mean, personally, I'm cool with them keeping the belts and them rematching. It was a great fight. You know, it's contractually, they're you know, they said Fury has activated the rematch clause. It's the 2 best heavyweights. They should be fighting for all the belts. So, you know, let's run it back. I mean, how do you guys feel?
Yeah. Go on, Josh.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that. I say run it back. You know, I wouldn't be mad if another heavyweight got a shot at Usyk, but I'd like to see them run it back as well, just given the fact that this was a very good fight, and I think they'll match up well again. And yeah, I think it's kind of annoying that, there are sanctioning bodies that are already looking to kind of strip Usyk. I know IBF being one of them, but basically, yeah, I mean, you have the 2 best heavyweights in the world in a very good fight. Why not run it back for the sport's sake?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it was a good fight, wasn't it, in the end? So if it's a good fight, it was pretty close. They're still the 2 best heavyweights. Run it back. I think a lot of people will be happy with. I'm not too sure who would actually be like a worthwhile opponent for Usyk if all of the titles are on the line. Who could possibly who could it be that, you know, that would be deserving of having the shot of that? Because he's kind of beaten everybody, hasn't he? That actually matters. So yeah, it'd be quite interesting to actually see how that all unfolds.
Now, real quick, I wanted to get your thoughts, you all's thoughts on something I've heard. Do you think that Tyson Fury is kind of past it, maybe shot worn in terms of his ability to take those big punches at this stage? Now, really, we only have Usyk and Wilder in terms of, I guess Francis Ngannou as well, you can throw it in terms of the last several years, but just given how he reacted to getting caught by Usyk, I know that I've seen out there online mention that, Fury no longer has a chin, things of that nature. I want to get you all's thoughts on that.
Go first, Jim.
I'd say that, to be honest, all throughout his career, he's been susceptible, hasn't he? We've seen him go down time and time again, and he's always been able to get back up. Obviously, the Wilder one was a kind of a miraculous resurrection. What I will say is, although he was clocked big time and by Usyk, he still managed to kind of, I know he was swaying around, he was staggering everywhere, but he was still kind of being evasive. He was still had the kind of the forethought to try and do something to get out of the way and survive. And I guess the ropes were kind of holding him up, and that's the only reason he didn't actually go down. But I thought he then still recovered quite well to then be able to finish the fight. Maybe some people would say it should have been waved off there and then, and maybe it should have been, but he actually survived and continued, made a fight of it. I think he won another round after that, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't think his punch resistance any worse than what it has been throughout his career, essentially. What about you, Alex?
You know, it is an interesting, you know, perspective. That is, like you said, it's something that I've been hearing over and over again. I would say this: has his chin, maybe his ability to take a punch, lowered? Yeah, probably. I mean, it kind of seemed that every time he got clocked clean, there was an effect where there, you know, defensively. I mean, he was not good defensively. I mean, he got hit with like almost 40% of the shots, I think, more than that maybe. I know the power shot was almost 50%, but every time a left hand landed, there was a reaction touching the nose, his eyes. So yeah, I would say that it's not as strong as it's been. However, he was able to recover, like you said, win rounds after that. I mean, he won the 12th round, and most guys, I think, getting hit, being hurt like that, they're out. That's it. They're gonna stop that fight. He is so smart. He is such a good enough boxer to be able to survive. So it maybe the chin's a little bit, not as good. Like you said, it's never been this great. He's never taken a great shot. He's been put down many times, but he's always had the mental capacity and the will to get up and fight, and that hasn't left. And that's what's most important when it comes to these type of fights.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Okay, I don't have this event on my screen, to be honest, to look back on. But is there anything on the undercard that you want to discuss that I just can't think of at the moment? Shout out.
Wasn't it like a day of upsets? We had like Kakachi knocking out Cordina, Caballel knocking out one-legged Frank Sanchez. I mean, it was a crazy day. It was insane. Going to the Kakachi, right? Kakachi, guy no one knew, Irishman. All you hear was that he was like a gym warrior, but a dude that hasn't been fighting, never really beat anyone of the highest level. Cordina, always saying he wants names, he wants the best fights. Yet now he's fighting Kakachi, but it was for a Saudi check. I always I've been following Cordina for a little bit. Just the way he approached the card in what was it, Monaco, his attitude, the way he fought, I was like, this guy's gonna get upset. And I was picking Kakachi. I don't think we spoke about it, but if you want, I got betting proof, I got chat proof. I was picking Kakachi all along, and he did it. Now by knockout, his first knockout in 8 years, and it's Joe Cordina, undefeated Olympian. That was quite impressive. And 130 is getting hot. So who does Kakachi face next? Well, he has a mandatory, and it's a bad boy, Eduardo Sugar Nunez, who just stopped Ratmanov, who Cordina had a tough fight with. So let's run it. I mean, that's the mandatory. It's a good mandatory. So let's get to it. Let's not play no games. Go straight to it. Because Kakachi was talking a lot of crap, talking about all the Matchroom people picking against him, and he doesn't want to give any opportunities to them. Sorry, sir. Cop the belt up or fight.
Well, he's got into that position now. He's going to be a target man, isn't he, for people going after some belts. So, he's got to get in the ring and do the business. Josh, any other thoughts on either that one or Caballel again with another upset win back to back? That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, great points made there by Alex. Certainly Cordina, I mean, very promising fighter coming up with the that amateur pedigree, Olympic pedigree, I guess you can say. And yeah, he just went down. Shows you how things can change on a swivel in boxing. Now, Caballel, I think he's really done himself probably the most justice over the last six to 8 months as far as the heavyweights that are out there, because he's really coming on with the storm, and the way he's been able to pick up these last 2 wins, they have been a boost for him and his resume and his overall standing there in the heavyweight division. I was picking Sanchez coming into the fight with Caballel, but I could see there from the start that he had some issues as far as being pressed by Caballel. Now, I didn't know about the injury at the time, but Caballel was all over him, and the way Caballel has this ability to really work and find success to the body, I think that will help him kind of be a menace there within the heavyweight division if he's taking on some of these top level fighters. So I want to see him in with more guys of this nature. And then I'll say that Jay Opataya, he was able to defeat Maris Briedis, who was coming off of a nearly, I want to say, 2-year layoff. But Briedis, at the end, he found some success there against Opataya. So Opataya had previously fought Briedis in order to pick up the title or pick up a world title there at cruiserweight, and he suffered a broken jaw. So there towards the end, you have to wonder, hey, maybe it was some of that thinking, okay, this jaw situation that happened some years back. But that being said, he pretty much handled it in a way that he definitely deserved to win. But it'll be interesting to see if Maris Briedis, who's been a long time standout there at cruiserweight, continues forward and who he may ultimately find himself in there against, along with Opataya, and whether or not he's able to at some point become undisputed there at cruiserweight like we've seen in recent years. So time will tell for sure.
Yeah, quite an interesting one. Cruiserweight isn't too busy, I guess, in terms of the kind of top talented names. Who else is there in there? Is it Chris Billon-Smith cruiserweight?
Yes, he is.
Riyadh.
Riyadh.
So I guess
names out there.
I guess that'd be a good clash if Opataya can get into the ring with one of them two. Are them two are scheduled to face, aren't they? I think, if memory serves me right.
15th.
Yeah, coming up.
That'd be a good one.
So I guess cards could align for those to the winner of that one to face Opataya. That'd be pretty good. Going back to Kabiel again. He's kind of flown under the radar, seemingly. The last win against Makhmudov that a lot of people just didn't expect really boosted him up. And now another great win against Frank Sanchez, who was expected to beat him as well. I put it out there on X that I think that he could be quite problematic for Joshua if they ever got into the ring. What would you make of that if that fight could ever take place and be made? Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's an interesting one right there. I like the form that we've seen Joshua in his last two fights, even though we know the one was with Ngannou, who certainly that has to be factored in as far as it being his second official, I guess, boxing match. But I think Kabiel could provide some problems for Anthony Joshua. You know, when I think about his size, Kabiel a little bit smaller than Joshua. That being said, we've seen points in which Joshua has struggled with certain fighters, Usyk being one of them, who is generally around that same size as Kabiel. Of course, Usyk moves a bit better, but that being said, that dedication to the body and the way he's able to get off his punches in that regard certainly is in favor of Kabiel in terms of being able to touch the body of Anthony Joshua, because that's a target that would be there once he's able to get past that jab of his. Now, Joshua looking as focused as he's looked, he seems to have that mental edge that kind of saw him get to where he was in the sport, or get to the status he is in the sport, as far as the fanfare surrounding him. When he has it all together, he just looks like a heavyweight, and he looks like the heavyweight champion. But sometimes the mental aspect could come into play as well in boxing. It's very much mental as it is physical, and you wonder if he can withstand and take those body shots and continue to charge forward. But I would favor Anthony Joshua in that contest. But you're right, in Kabiel flying under the radar, a lot of his fights taking place in Germany. That being said, he seems to have a bit of something going for him that is hard to pick against him from an upset standpoint right now, but we'll see how he continues to evolve.
Yeah, Boz had put in the chat there's an excellent body puncher, which, I guess that's what set him up for success so far. Whether that would trouble AJ as well, I'm not too sure. That being said, after you said all that, and I'll come on to you, Alex, in a second, AJ, you'd probably just looking for a fight against Fury, you'd imagine, wouldn't you? I think now Fury's just been beating off Usyk, apart from possibly that rematch. Obviously, Fury and Joshua are poised to have a massive stadium fight over here in the UK. That'd be a mega fight. Probably still on the world boxing stage, but especially for the UK as a domestic rivalry. Alex, did you want to just the last say on that before we wrap up this event and move on?
In regards to possible Joshua Kabiel matchup?
Yeah, and Fury, Joshua, etc.
Well, when it comes to that matchup, the thing about Kabiel, man, 2 underdog wins, like that's was definitely unexpected. Though the second one was a closer on the odds. But like you said, the body attack, it's beautiful. I mean, you give him that opportunity, he's gonna let it go. Definitely underrated fighter. This is just the one issue, and it sucks to bring up, but the Arslanbek fight. Arslanbek hurt his arm, his shoulder. He was one-armed in there. Frank Sanchez, it was obvious. The leg gave out. You know, he had a decent first round, and that was it. So we really don't know how good he is. And I think we kind of feel we know how good Joshua is. So it'll be a little bit, once again, we're the underdog. You won't expect much. Man, if Joshua goes in with an injury, he might get stopped too, right? Don't go and hurt against Caballero.
I'm gonna say Caballero could be the luckiest fighter in the world if he got 3 in a bounce injured opponent.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, usually guys go in there with some type of ailment, stuff going on personally. You go in that ring, you go in there to win. Hopefully you're not going there for a check. So I would expect Joshua, he knows winning is important, especially at this stage, because he has more paydays in the horizon. So I would expect Joshua to knock him out.
Yeah, true. All right. Just quickly, Baz had mentioned in there, Hrgovic versus Caballero will be a good one. And I agree. I think that would be a very interesting fight. But of course, Hrgovic has got a test to overcome next weekend.
The guy that knocked out Usyk. Oh, wait.
So we'll talk about that after we've done our watch along. Right, I think. Is there anything else to discuss? Last night, of course. Fucking hell. Let's move along. It was the rematch. Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. Was it going to be revenge? Was it going to be repeat? It was a great fight in the end, thankfully, because the first one wasn't so great, as we kind of found out when we rewatched it a few months back. Josh, give us some thoughts and summaries. It was a good fight, good action. What did you make of it? What did you make of the result and the performances?
Yeah. The first thing for sure is that seemingly, at least from an online standpoint, everyone feels it was a better fight than the last one, which is a plus for both of those guys and boxing, I guess you could say, in general. Now, I like the atmosphere of the fight. Of course, it was very heavy in favor of Catterall as far as the fanfare there, which is understandable given where it was taking place. And I thought the two lived up to it to a degree in terms of just being able to give us a fight that had some different moments where we saw things that really generated some excitement, some speculation, and the two really seemed to match up in an interesting fashion with each other. Now, it's not one of those where it's going to give you that fight of the year sustained type action just nonstop, but you could find them in pockets where they would really be throwing some heavy leather, and you really wonder, okay, how is this affecting the other guy? And I thought that the pace that they fought at in this particular contest was a pretty solid pace as well. And unlike the last one, there wasn't as much holding and kind of being tied up in the same capacity, though there was still some stuff that was going on there. And I know both of those guys always, tend to look for that edge in throwing punches, even if they're in clinch, is supposed to be a break, things of that nature. So that's something they have to watch out for. But I ended up scoring it, of course, 113, 115, which was what I saw a lot of there online, as well as the 116, 112, as we note there. And I thought it was because Jack Catterall, he just had more of the moments in the contest and seemed to control things a little better in some of those rounds as it pertained to Josh, or contrary to Josh Taylor, who showed some of that grit that took him to the top of the division and showed that he still has something there, and he's not a fighter who is as far on the downside as some may have thought. But ultimately, I do think that Catterall's style, and maybe somewhat his youth, being a little bit younger than Joshua and less shot worn than Josh Taylor, I think that's played in his favor as well. And I like the fact that Catterall, in some of those situations, didn't lose his composure and get drawn into something that was going to leave him even more susceptible to being caught by Josh Taylor, who has shown that he can get guys out of there when he gets a good opportunity. But of course, this one, some I've seen online, some considering it controversial. Of course, Alice, we might mention Bob Arum's comments in the aftermath of the contest. But that being said, I thought the right guy won.
Yeah. Alex, your say on that one?
The scorecards were horrible. Yeah, that was quite entertaining. Listen, right man won. I have no real issue with those scorecards because there was a couple close rounds. I think it would be very hard to give it, to Josh Taylor. So to say it was controversial. I mean, if I'm Josh Taylor, I love that my promoter said that because I want him to have my back. It was a good fight. First fight sucked. It was terrible. It was nasty to watch. It was fucking lame, right? This fight it had entertainment. There was a lot of fun moments. That's what we want to see. Two guys that really want it, and that's what we saw. But the difference was Jack Catterall's clean, effective punching. That overhand left, it's like he can't miss. Seriously, he knows when and how to land it. He's mastered it. He understands when to do it, how to do it, and Josh Taylor, you got to give him credit. Like you said, that grit. We haven't seen it in a while, and it was there. I mean, he had to go through some moments. He had to go through fire, and he had Jack. He had Jack getting hit a lot as well. I would just say this: I thought Jack was gonna be real mean in there, and there was flashes of it, but at the end of the day, it's just not in his DNA. I think he could have probably got Taylor out of there a couple times. Taylor is tough. It looked like he did make the weight well, but I mean, with that left hand landing, I mean, he could have spammed it kind of. It felt like, and it would have hit. Taylor just didn't have the defense. Catterall just seems to be that kryptonite for Taylor inside that ring. But shout out to Josh Taylor. There was a lot of worry this was going to be a shit fight, and we want to be proven wrong when we say those things. So thank you both, man. It was a great second fight. The thing that sucks is they're kind of stuck in limbo. Yeah. There's Josh Taylor. Like, who can he fight at 140? Jack Catterall. Who is he gonna fight? He's calling out Teofimo, but Teofimo's with Top Rank, and they kind of seem to be doing their own thing. Sabrina Matias is over there, but there's Hitchens. He could have fought Hitchens, but this was a bigger and better fight.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but we might be headed for the third fight, you guys. This was a great fight, but kind of like the coach said, it's like, we watched enough tape. Like, I'm sick of it. And it's not to put down this matchup. It's just, run another fight and come back. So maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe they both get a hometown fight. They both get a layup. This was a tough one, a lot of emotions. So, I mean, you could say they deserve it. But I would say I would expect these guys to face each other within the next 18 to 20, 24 months.
Yeah, it's like you say, they are a little bit in limbo, and because that fight last night was actually decent, it sets it up for the rematch. The one and one each now. A lot of people did think that Catterall won the first fight, as we all did when we did the rewatch of it. So I think Catterall really wants to draw a line under it, because he was saying in the end, in the aftermath, saying he's got his win now. He's so happy about that, and he's righted the wrong that happened last time. But the official kind of resumes still say that he lost that first fight, which is unfortunate. So yeah, interesting to see where they both go. And to be honest, I don't think that they both trouble the very top guys in the division. I think they both get beat off two or three of them up there. So yeah, interesting to see what happens to those two in the not too distant future. I've got up on the screen the scorecards for the people in our scoring group, and it looks like universally we've scored it 115, 113, or 116 to 112. I noticed that Boz had said in the chat that he scored it a draw. Why didn't you use your scoring system, Boz? It could have been on the screen and you could have could have showed us how you got to a draw. But there you go. I did see quite a couple of people online saying that they had it close or draw. And I saw quite a few people saying that those scores by the judges were way too wide and there was kind of calling a robbery. And I think that's what you were alluding to there, Josh, saying about controversy.
No.
But a lot of those rounds were really close. So I was trying to say on Twitter last night that you can kind of understand where those kind of scores could come from, because a lot of them rounds were very close. So in theory, you could give Catterall all of those close rounds, and then it looks like a wider fight than it really truly was. So I don't think that those scores were too unbelievable, to be quite honest. And then obviously after the fact, we had Bob Arum in the ring threatening to never allow any of his fighters to come back to the UK and fight. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, someone must have had to boost him up to the ring and help him through the ropes. Did they know what he was going to do? Why didn't they stop him and say, no, this is not
probably Josh Taylor's manager?
Yeah,
probably. Anyway, we've been going for 36 minutes. Is there anything else that was on last night on the undercard that you wanted to talk about? Or was there anything else that you wanted to discuss that I might have missed, because we've plowed through this one? Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, as far as that card, I thought it looked good in terms of some of the fights. But Paddy Donovan, I really like his style, especially if he's really going for it. He's able to stop Lewis Ritson, who we know have had some issues, especially taking it to the body here over the last number of his fights. So Ritson had a pretty solid fanfare there in Newcastle. So he's a guy that can bring the people out. This was not in Newcastle, of course, but that being said, Paddy Donovan, I like the promise that he has in terms of his overall look. And when he's putting it all together, he could be very interesting here in the future. So definitely going to keep an eye on him. And then, of course, last night, Christian Mbili made short work of Zac Efron, who I thought would put up a better fight, though in loss at some point. With that being said, hey, all it took was the first solid number of punches and then catching it to the body for him to go down, and he couldn't get out of that first round. But, man, Christian Mbili, he just looks like he's a beast there at 168 pounds. And I'd like to see him against the likes of a Canelo, because he just strikes me as the guy who's going to go in and his heart is going to go first as far as how he's going to approach the fight and how he'll interact in the fight. The big stage maybe not getting to him in a way that he loses sight of who he is as a fighter. So he could really bring out some excitement in Canelo, I believe, considering Canelo doesn't want to be anywhere near the Mexican monster.
I will quickly just say that Mbili beat Mark Heffron last night, not Zac Efron. He's in Hollywood actor, which is what you actually accidentally said, Josh. Just to clear that up.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. You're right. Mark
that's
Heffron.
Where he made short work of that. It was a body shot, I think, wasn't it? That it just crippled him, and then he couldn't get back up. I think we can move along. Is that all right with you, Alex? Are you prepped to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Perfect. All right, let's get to it. I'll let you do our introductions. We're going to move on to our watch along now. Give us the intros, Alex.
Let's do this. All right. The fight today, Felix Sturm versus Oscar De La Hoya. Or as they build it, the opposite, because, A-side shit. Let's start with the challenger. The golden boy, Oscar De La Hoya. 31 years old, 5'11", 7'3" reach, from Los Angeles, California. U.S. lightweight gold medalist at the 1992 Olympics. We've gone through this before. The Ring BWAA Fighter of the Year in 1995. Let's accolades quickly, right? 8-time world champion, 5 weight classes. Amazing. 36-3 with 29 KOs. I've said it once, I'll say it again. People forget how good this guy was.
Yep.
To the champion, the B-side champ. Felix, great nickname. You ready? The Fighter, Sturm.
Okay.
25 years old, 5'11" and a half, or as you see on the screen, 6 feet. 73-inch reach, from Leverkusen, Norheim, Westfalen. I've been working on that. Okay,
Fucking
Germany,
failed.
but
Fucking
fighting out of
failed.
Hamburg, Germany. He represented Germany in the 2000 Olympics. He lost. Who did he lose to? Future would become the bronze medalist Jermaine Taylor in that Olympics. Current WBO champion, 20-0, 9 stoppages. This fight, June 5th, 2004, at the MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada, the great country of the United States of America.
All right, so that is coming up for 20 years next week
Wow.
or so, maybe 2 weeks away. Amazing how time flies. 2004 just does not seem like it should be 20 years
Right.
ago. Crazy. Insane. I'm just putting out a quick tweet. Sen, make sure you've got your scorecards ready. There's been some information on the screen while we've been having our introduction talk and covering the fights. There's descriptions. There's information in the video description as well of how you can join our scoring group and you can take part as well. It'd be great for you to share your scores along with us. We can see your scores as we're going through the fight. That would be great. I've dropped a link into the chat, especially for you, Boz. You can hit that link and you should be onto the scorecard for the fight we're watching. Otherwise, if you want to join our scoring group, you need to just read the instructions of how to get there. A quick shout out quickly before we do start. Boxer Money is in the chat. Thank you for being here. Boz, as usual, ever present. And I've just seen Average Boxing Fan. Thank you again for joining us. What's he said here?
Happy birthday.
Okay, there you go. Translation. Okay, let's make a start.
You received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution.
Let's get that volume right down.
Point. With that said, obey my command. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Right. Felix Sturm is a
But we're still too loud.
that he
Yo, HBO crew there.
Just telling him about the name that Mr. Boz is letting us know. His real name is, I'm not trying to say that. I'm going to say it in English, Adnan Kacic, but yeah, he chose a stage name, Felix Sturm.
Okay, didn't know.
A lot
that.
easier for us to say.
Yeah. A play on Storm, maybe. Replacing the O with the U.
All right.
Look at Oscar being aggressive.
Volume isn't too loud, is it? I'm going to put the music up a little bit. We don't want to get in trouble.
Top Rank. This is a Bob Arum Top Rank show, aired on HBO pay-per-view, as you see.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so far, Oscar's come out pretty aggressive, winging those shots. Hey, digging into the body. Not all of them are landing cleanly, but he is the one being aggressive right now. Nice uppercut there from Sturm.
And De La Hoya looks flabby as hell. For real, look at his legs too. I mean, he looks fat in there.
Yeah.
Like he's 39 years old. He must have stopped cocaine because yeah, he's looking.
Trying to get in shape, and it's had the opposite effect.
He is landing that right to the body a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really seeing the flashy speed, the beautiful, the swift feet. I mean, he's standing there trying to bang up Stern's body.
Yeah. Which, hey, not a bad proposition in theory. Oh, nice left hook from Sturm. What I will say that Sturm certainly seems to have a pretty solid jab.
Yeah, from the jump you can see it.
It's got a little bit of snap to it.
De La Hoya is a little too close for his jab. I mean, because it's obvious he wants to attack that body. When he has thrown the jab, you can just see he hasn't really been able to turn it over. His elbow's still a little cocked out. You see, De La Hoya is wider than Stern in there. Stern's in shape. Shout out to him for, being in shape. Hey, but being in shape don't win you fights.
No, that's true. Very true.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that left hook too, man. Yeah, there's a crisp left hook there. De La Hoya's done a lot this round, though. I mean, he's working. He's working hard.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, nice right hand after the jab.
I wonder if the game plan was to come in and outwork Sturm.
Big shots at the end of the round here.
Oh, yes.
Get him in.
Yeah, so if you were thinking you're going to give that round to Stern, I think the ending kind of was telling.
Are you trying to sway
Stern did land some nice. I'm just trying to educate, man. I think a lot of people listen, right? I think the biggest thing you hear is, well, I think he won because he was more active. It's like, that's not exactly how you win a round, just based off of throwing shots. Not to say that De La Hoya, activity is what basically won him that round, because he was landing. That's the number one thing. It's about landing punches. And it's just annoying because people are like, well, he threw more. So he's like, no, you have to be, it's effective aggressive, not just aggression. You got to be able to be throwing, landing shots, and not getting hit with anything back effective. That is effective aggression. Not just going there and throwing shots. If that was the case, Mayweather lost to Maidana probably 23 out of 24 rounds when they fought.
I do love an impassioned Alex rant. All right, the scores are in. We're in round 2. That was a fun opener. Hopefully it stays like that.
Yeah. Makes me wonder, how Oscar is going to adjust, because certainly at this stage he's not going to keep up with that pace on the first round.
Especially when that badass body you got. Jesus Christ.
Nice left and right there. Good little right hook landed on Oscar De La Hoya from Sturm.
You see that? What is that, like a triple, quadruple jab? I mean, the body shots are nice for sure. Yep. You got to think, he keeps being able to land like this. They're going to pay dividends. So that Stern jab will be able to disrupt that.
Lots of body work so far.
Oh, yeah.
You see Stern, though, I mean, he's picking his shots, and he's landing pretty well. Just landed a nice jab, but, doing this right here, letting De La Hoya work in, De La Hoya's adopted hometown of Las Vegas. Good luck.
Right. And you did note Sturm, I think, having 9 knockouts in those 20, how many ever wins. So he's not a power guy, but you can see that he's on the front foot. So he is applying a bit of pressure in this round.
I think he was a bigger puncher than his resume points out. I remember, I can't remember who it was he fought. He came to the UK and battered somebody. Looks really good. Someone like Matthew Macklin or Darren Barker or someone like that. It was something like that.
I think he fought them both.
Yeah.
I think the Barker was a shootout. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Darren Barker.
Interesting round.
I'd agree.
Bit of a quieter one.
Still seeing those body shots, but like you said, Stern, I mean, he's really just walking them down, picking his shots.
Yeah, I was going to note, looks like he's gained Oscar's respect a bit. Just what Oscar says, hold up.
They're doing the old let's try and win it in the last 20 seconds routine.
A lot of clean work there from Sturm. His stuff was pretty clean.
You see Hopkins there. He actually fought on the undercard, fought in his third fight against Ronald Allen. So this was set up for the winners to collide, which obviously was expected. De La Hoya versus Hopkins. This is in June. They already had a fight date set up in September.
Okay. Looks like Hopkins was already showered, ready to go to the club.
Yeah, so we're getting Hopkins De La Hoya regardless of the outcome.
But no, he had to win because it would be for undisputed.
Mhm.
Get that score in.
Yep, scores in. Let's have a look. Boz has got it 19 each. I saw that he gave that first round to De La Hoya.
Good job, Boz. You know how to score today. Every day.
We're on the same page here.
Anyone else that's watching and scoring, let us know how you scored that last round.
That was a nice quick left hook.
Yeah, I've seen him slipping that in a few times.
De La Hoya looks just a little off, I would say. Doesn't really have a rhythm to what he's doing. He's not looking exactly comfortable, exactly sure what he wants to do.
Maybe he was thinking to himself, I don't know who this guy is, but maybe it'll be easier. At least on paper, but you do have to get in that ring.
Yeah, that's typical. The B-side fighters landing some pretty decent shots, and it's ignored by everybody that has a microphone, there on the broadcast.
The De La Hoya show, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of the fight that just we didn't speak about it just because there was so much to talk about. Navarrete versus Baranchyk. Barancyk's over there slapping Navarrete with his soft-ass punches, and then, Navarrete lands one punch like, oh, my God, the power. Oh, the man just got, the man landed 20, and you over here talking about 3 shots. That ain't even putting, Baranchyk down or wobble. Good job by Sturm. I'll do it for them, I guess. You see Sturm, blocks and returns fire. That's probably going to be a good key to victory. It's just, you gotta lead too. That jab, and just reacting to De La Hoya's, shots.
Oh yes.
No special effects needed. You're the bigger, stronger, naturally stronger man. So.
I agree. Yeah, it seems to be imposing that will. I give Oscar credit for having the body work being in the strategy, but certainly tougher to slip them in on Sturm with that type of guard. So a lot are hitting his arms and elbows as well.
Mm-hmm. This is somewhat effective aggression. Now he's not landing probably as much as you want, but you see the pressure is affecting De La Hoya. De La Hoya not really landing anything clean, and it's putting cracks in that defense. Nice counter jab, step back counter jab. But I'm sure they didn't say shit about it on the commentary.
Oh, yeah.
That was beautiful. He stepped back, hit him clean, and got right back.
Nice job at the end. All right, 3 rounds down already.
All right.
Flowing through. Oh, we got blood.
Uh-oh.
You leaking. Maybe it's a fight. I mean, listen, you could be beating someone's ass, get hit once, and your blood's leaking,
Mm-hmm. Right in the nose.
I wish they would have showed. I wish they would have showed why De La Hoya had his hands down. So obviously, it must have been a feint.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, reacting. All right, he threw. I got to fire back. Look at that. See, he threw, counter jab.
Snapping.
Simple but effective, man. People don't realize sometimes it's just the basic things. Keeping within yourself, keeping it technical. That'll win you most fights. It's when you try to do all the other stuff. Look at this fucking card. Jesus Christ.
Who was that? Letterman?
Letterman,
Of
yeah.
course. I mean, but he's not even being. I mean, he's not even the aggressor. That's his MO. But money, money, money.
Right.
Yeah, De La Hoya's got to go back to those combinations to the body. I mean, he was landing nice that first round, and it just seems to be a little too much of a focus on the throwing the right to the body. Now they updated it. Said, all right, man, you can't be embarrassing us like this.
Oh, okay.
Don't make it too obvious. I mean, you can just look at body language and you know who's comfortable, who's not.
Mm-hmm. And if I ask you which one of these guys is a 160-pounder, certainly Felix Sturm looked to be the 160-pounder legitimately. I think it's safe to say that this was Oscar De La Hoya topping out 160. Probably not ideal for him in reality.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, as you mentioned there, Vega, the money, that changes things.
Yep, nice left hook to the body. It's been a while since De La Hoya landed a shot that made any of us say anything.
Was this De La Hoya moving up to middleweight? Already been at middleweight for a while.
No, this was his first fight at 160, coming off a controversial loss to Shane Mosley in their second matchup.
Got you. We covered that one before, haven't we?
No.
Mm.
Every time we're supposed to, man, something occurred. We're supposed to do the first one like twice. We might set it up again. Who knows?
Let's do it.
Oh, it's Felix
Quiet
Sturm,
round.
wasn't it?
We did Trinidad with De La Hoya, yeah. Yeah, man, like great fighters, they have controversial fights, mostly because they're on the wrong side of those decisions. That didn't stop them from becoming great.
Mm-hmm.
Young fighters or current fighters now, see? Nice jab from Stern again. Very quiet around this one,
Yeah.
I think this is going to come down to just what did you see? How did you interpret it?
Yeah, certainly.
Oof, nice left hooks. Yeah, I don't think Stern wants to exchange. Not with that left hook being in there.
Yeah, that was an interesting round right there. Going to be a interesting score, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I came across, The Ring always used to do an article where they spoke to a fighter and talk about the best I ever faced. And so they talk about, best jab, best speed, best footwork, smartest. And for almost everything but power, it was power and something else. Everything was De La Hoya, the jab, the IQ, the speed. It was best fighter. It was all De La Hoya.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people forget just how great this guy was. Like you say, look, he has no business being there. And a guy that, Stern's still fighting at like 45 years old. He has 20 years of professional experience. So this guy checks all the boxes.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, he fought in December of last year.
Wow. Okay. So he's 45 years old now. So he was 25 back this time. Okay, let's you know what I need to do? I need to fucking set things up, don't I?
What the fuck is it? That's funny.
Filler, please, boys. I just need to change some settings.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. So, Stern's making his second defense of his WBO title. How did he win it? Well, he got a split decision win over Hector Velasco. Yes, Velasco. And then in his first defense, he fought a gentleman named Ruben Barron. Both those fights in Germany. This is actually his first fight out of Europe. He made I think he made a fight like in Hungary, maybe once or twice. Yeah, like Budapest. Budapest is in Hungary, I think.
Yeah.
Just trying to fill time here, but no, seriously though. Yeah, so this is his first time. This is his big moment. He's fighting a freaking, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And hey, you get this opportunity, you don't turn it down for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well filled, thank you. I've just come to the combined scorecard. I assume that we're all pretty much there or thereabouts. We'll see each other's scores in a minute. But yeah, round 1, De La Hoya. Round 2, Sturm. Round 3, Sturm. Round 4, De La Hoya. That's our collective scorecard, 2 rounds each. Back to the group. That equates to, it looks like, me and you, Alex, along with Boz. That's how we scored 2 rounds each. And it looks like Josh has given Sturm 3 rounds to 1, if I am reading that correctly.
Correct.
Beautiful. Okay, let's continue, and then
Very interesting.
We'll do some comparisons after round 8. We'll look at your 2 scores side by side. And a quick shout out to Conscious Boxing who's back in the chat. Oscar was a man at 130 to 147. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, shout out Conscious Boxing, man. Appreciate you.
Conscious.
Yeah, I think Canelo beats the fuck out of De La Hoya at 160 just through these first 4 rounds.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's like pretty
Where did
much
that come from?
too top heavy for.
Average
Well,
boxing
yeah.
fan made a comment about it.
Okay. Got you.
A resident Mexican expert.
I see it. I missed that one. Sorry.
Oh, he said 9.
And I agree, boss. GGG too for sure. Triple G.
Oh, Triple G. Are you serious? Look what the Stern jab is doing. So.
Yeah, and that jab is working.
I like that. Sturm just like clobbering him around, and the commentators saying, "Oh, that's good, doing something good." I don't know what it was, but
You know, and that's why people say HBO was the best. I hated the commentary just because of this. And not to say the other networks don't do it, but it's like, how are you saying this is the best and you miss it so much when they do this garbage?
Right.
Stern, I mean, it's just, he is, to me, dominant so far. Like, it's not like eye-catching, but it's just 1-2 shot. You know, it's kind of like they move around a little bit. 1-2 shot, that's it, you know? Just keeps doing it over and over again. Look at that. Counter jab. Come on, guys. What's up with the commentary? They're not even talking about it. Look, nice short right hand. I mean, ain't nothing on it, but just landing.
Right.
Look at that.
That jab can't miss. The jab certainly can't. And of course, this isn't that same Oscar from the first round as noted, where he came out super aggressive. He seems to have toned that down a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, he's not going to keep up that pace, is he? With that conditioning.
Josh was spot on. I mean, immediately.
Referee Nick Drakovic. So I will say this is the type of fight where it's largely been fought in the middle of the ring. So those are the kinds you like as a ref right there.
Easy night.
Yeah, see, De La Hoya's got to get active with his own jab, but work off of it.
Yeah.
Him using, bringing his elbows up, try to catch shots. No bueno, Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Nice left hook.
Nice left hook, yeah.
Oh, and he threw up his left hand. He's like, this is my town.
Okay.
Now Oscar's just stalking, essentially.
Close out the round. Avoid anything.
Definitely. Hey, Sturm, he seems to be comfortable in there. The moment doesn't seem to be too big for Sturm, as that has happened with some fighters. He doesn't care about De La Hoya's pedigree, his status. He's doing well.
I don't know about that, Heavy Chevy. Canelo has a pretty good record in catch weights. Look at these punch stats. I mean, like what the? He landed like 12 fucking punches in the first minute and a half. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're getting that wrong. They're getting that wrong, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I was thinking that before, average boxing fan, that you know, we still had De La Hoya and Floyd like some years after this, didn't we? And he looked in pretty decent shape then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weight classes matter, styles matter, man. It's why you can never count people out, because sometimes the styles just mesh. I mean, how many times do you see these crazy upsets just because of styles? You know, Dakota Linger knocking out freaking Kurt Scooby. Who the fuck saw that coming, right? But that style wasn't good for Kurt.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, man, just De La Hoya, you got to be that jab. Just keeping. You see Stern. If you keep doubling up that jab, his hands are gonna stay there. But the one thing Oscar was doing before was he was jabbing to Stern's right hand, and that was getting him counter jab. So I don't know what he's trying to keep that. Like, see, he tries to keep that right hand at home for Stern, but it's the jab.
Mm-hmm.
Stern's jab has been, you know, doing the work.
Yeah.
Okay. Touching shots. See, Stern didn't like something that landed there. Yeah, just, they're playing a little, you know, touch me, I touch you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good shot.
Now, you got to remember, wasn't sure, but you know, if you hit the shoulder, you know that's a you know, scoring blow. I didn't know that, like, for sure. So that's why Canelo be winning all these rounds, right? He fucking people's shoulders up. It's
not necessarily the case there in the amateur world, but yeah, sometimes the lines get blurred. So in that transition from amateur to pro, but I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, they are counting those, because no way in that last round did De La Hoya land more than Sturm.
This has been an interesting round. De La Hoya's landed a lot of pity patty ones. Stern's been landing his own. So it's really, you know, someone could just land one big punch and, you know, take, you know, hold of a lead in this round, I would say.
Yeah. De La Hoya working that jab, so keeping that distance now.
You see that right to the body. I mean, that's been there since the opening, but it's been off the jab.
Mm-hmm.
Touchy shots from Sturm, man. It's quite interesting this round. It'll be interesting to see people score it. Trying not to sway anything.
Yeah, no doubt. But it does look like Sturm might be catching a little bit of a breather.
I was going to say he's definitely less active this round, isn't he, than the other so far?
Leading the witness.
Okay.
Nice little right he threw out there. Like you said there, Alex, just touching him up.
Yeah. No, he bored. That's fine. Like, all right, watch your fights now. I'm just joking. Yeah, I bet. It could be, you know, maybe $1 million or you know, 8 figures. You can like, De La Hoya, come on, man. Look at this bullshit. Who gives a fuck how much they threw? Like, why does that matter? Such a weird stat to show, don't you agree?
Yeah.
Damn, he threw 100 in the first round? Damn.
That's fine for the end of the fight, but what matters now is what's landing.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they've probably seen the landed count and gone, you know what, just show the throne stat, that'll do. Boz has an even fight now, he says. So,
okay.
Interesting.
Boz is doing well today, man.
I'd agree.
Holding it down.
You've been learning.
I was being swayed by your commentary, Alex.
Hey, no, man. The man sees what he sees, all right? He's well educated.
All right, Letterman's giving Sturm another one there. Okay.
Interesting.
Interested?
Yeah, me and Letterman, we're just not jiving.
Yeah, Stern definitely, like you said, it seemed like he took a little bit of breather. This, you know, he's on him now again. It's like the round 5 again. a bit. Stern feeling himself for sure. Like he threw an uppercut from like Navarrete out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he's kind of playing with him a little bit.
Yeah.
He went in there and he's like,
yeah, I think so. I think he's shown that, or he's found out that, you know what, he can't really hurt me.
yeah. She jabbed De La Hoya. What are you doing? Jab. There you go. The body shot's nice. You know, his 1-2's been good too. It's just he hasn't really been very committed to the 1-2. I mean, he does. Ooh, right hand. Ooh, jab. There you go. Obviously, De La Hoya round. Call me Letterman.
Right.
He took a great shot. He wins the round. Man, De La Hoya's waiting way too much.
Right.
Sturm's still not doing much, though, is he?
Man,
Right here,
Just waiting.
certainly
in
right
terms
here.
of activity, no.
Mm-hmm.
But he's picking the right moments.
Yeah. Kind of playing off of De La Hoya's pace at the moment.
Nice jab. You see, there's a reaction to the body when the jab lands because it's landing clean, dead straight on. Oof. Damn. I mean, he's snapping that thing up. Even when it misses, it's looking good.
Oh, yeah.
A little chopping right hand.
Ooh,
What the fuck was that?
that was wild.
Desperation swing right there. So Felix showing he can move as well. That's pretty solid.
That's a pretty interesting round.
It was not a round with many moments, I think is probably the best way to describe it.
That's true.
At least they're showing that, right? Look at that. 40% jabs landed. I mean, I'm surprised they gave him that much credit.
Right. right. Because that's something people tend to miss at times.
You never see that percentage, bro. Never. You know, the only time I can recall as of late was, I think, Crawford versus Arrow. I think he had something ridiculous like that, like 40, 50. Even like 60% of his body, power punches. Yo, they sure that's still La Hoya's dad? Look, nothing like.
Okay, you got that right, seemingly. Last round. You go, Harold.
Oh, De La Hoya, look at you. Yeah,
all right.
He's winning the round.
More of.
Aggressive. Yep. We do need that. That's probably the range he needs to be, right where he landed that stuff. When he's a little too far out, seems that Sturm is a little too long for him. Right there. Kind of in that mid-range.
You know, this obsession with trying to catch shots with the right hand, like, De La Hoya, I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. It's not been working. Especially because he's not even trying to counter.
I think that's what Heavy Chevy guy was getting at. Maybe Oscar De La Hoya in this contest was trained by Mayweather Sr. Because I know he spent a little time training him, but I'm not sure if this is the case in terms of this contest. I don't recall when they actually started to work together. So this is 2004. So this might have been close to around that time because he and Mayweather fought, was it 2000 and when was that? What year was that?
7, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was up at, was it a catch weight against Mayweather?
No,
Or was
Yeah,
it middle?
no, 154.
yeah, it was 154.
Light middle.
The Bernard Hopkins was the catch weight, I think 155, 156, something like that. It was 156, and Bernard made 155.
Mhm.
Yep, man, this has definitely been the least exciting round. De La Hoya is just, like, hey, the judges are going to give me this round.
Yeah. I think Sturm has proved a tougher outing than what probably the majority in attendance, the majority of the pundits thought.
Nice body work.
Yeah, that was pretty solid from De La Hoya.
I'll say this: I'm seeing the speed, which I didn't feel like we were seeing in the beginning. So De La Hoya, I mean, his body seems to be holding up all right. It's just I think he's more puzzled than anything.
Yeah, but I will say Sturm, man, you know you're in Vegas. You want to take advantage of those opportunities there. Just as you see have those lulls in action, doesn't mean you have to acquiesce and actually fight at that same pace. You need to be a bit more aggressive, I would say. High stakes.
That's round 8.
Oh yeah, I'll take a pause. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, man.
Reminders.
I still need to get my scoring. Where are we?
And Heavy Chevy guy mentioned that De La Hoya linked up with Mayweather around 2000 or 2001 that time frame. So
okay.
That would explain. So he switched things up a little bit there, working with Mayweather. You think about Mayweather Senior, he worked that shoulder roll, and I'm guessing he might have had given Oscar that kind of blocking the punches with the hand type of guidance, which you saw with a lot of old school fighters, I would say.
He needed more work.
Less than what you see today, I would think, in some cases. But yeah, that was a close round. It was pretty even there, Baz. I agree.
Yeah, it was quite a close one. Okay, quick overview of scores there. I've got an even fight. Interesting. So's Alex. And it looks like Josh and Boz are now on the same page. Looks like 2 rounds up for Sturm. Or 1 round up. 2 rounds. 1 round. I don't know. We're going to compare your 2 scorecards. I think Alex and Josh. Hopefully this will work. And it has done.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, okay. We'll just have a quick scroll. See where you're different. First one was round 4. Looks like Alex, who is on the left here, gave that one to De La Hoya. And Josh went for Sturm as he was on the front foot. From round 5, it looks like we were on the same page. So Sturm for round 5, De La Hoya for round 6. And then round 7, you both gave it to Sturm. And then that last round, you both gave it to De La Hoya.
Oh, yeah. Over there.
So,
Yeah,
1 round disagreement, that's all.
Nice.
Not bad.
So we'll think about that once these scores are tallied, depending on how close it's going to ultimately be.
Let's continue.
It is interesting considering that if you just look at the fight at face value, it seems that Felix Sturm is winning this fight, and it seems like he's doing it by a pretty decent margin. But when you take that round to round into account, you're actually scoring with that perspective a little bit closer than what may have met the eye.
Yeah, right. What we're seeing and how it's scored seems to be a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. And
it is a close fight, but Stern's definitely doing the better work.
Right. And I think part of that is Sturm in some of those moments where De La Hoya is willing to kind of stay off the gas a bit. Sturm should be pressing a bit more.
Stern's starting to wait around himself, like during these middle rounds. Nice counter jab from Sturm.
Like here, nothing back from Sturm there for like 15, 20 seconds.
Oh, that's a nice
All right.
left.
There we go.
Nice. Oh,
Another one.
again there.
It's got to be discouraging.
And that's kind of the story of the fight as far as the punches landed thus far. Nothing overly grueling. Nothing. No guy has been truly hurt in that way, but it's just been those kind of little snapping punches that have landed a bit cleaner from Sturm. And De La Hoya, his probably his strong suit has been the body work when he's been able to get that in.
That left hook's landed like 3-4 times this round.
Reset.
Not frustration right there, is it?
You have to think so, right? He looks lost right now.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not supposed to be here at this point, at this stage of the fight.
Obvious De La Hoya round.
All right.
Oh, nice uppercut,
That was a nice uppercut.
He felt it.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Okay. Hey, Oscar, welcome to the fight.
So you got it in you.
Let me get hit by a jab. Is that the first clinch?
One of the first for sure.
Interesting to see how people score round 9.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That nice little flurry by De La Hoya has made it questionable, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think Sturm's won the majority of that round quite
Yeah, it's a
comfortably.
3-minute round.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Interesting one.
Bam, get that score in quick.
It is in.
Man, I never noticed that Aries Spears kind of looks like Bernard Hopkins.
Oh yeah, especially right there.
That's the truth. I don't think he's not in the proper shape to make this a better fight. That's the problem with De La Hoya.
Well, yeah, certainly, and I think you mentioned there at the top, he was looking a bit loose, body looking a bit loose there, so maybe he underestimated, or seemingly he did underestimate Felix Sturm.
Okay. Round 10.
See,
Yeah, want to see some urgency.
yeah, when he's fighting like that, yeah, he can leave Sturm waiting. You can kind of just lulling.
Holy shit. Lederman's got Sturm in front.
Oh, wow.
That's a turn up.
Oh, Harold.
Oh, that's a nice
That
left.
left hook, huh?
Can't
He's
miss.
not really sitting on it. He just kind of, just goes through with it.
All right. And they tend to have you refrain from kind of casually throwing that left hook in place of the jab, but when you do it properly, like Sturm is doing, you can have success.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Do you hear us in the ring when you're fighting? Yes, I do. That's what I thought. I've had many fighters turn and talk to us during fights about what we're saying in our commentary. It's never been a mystery to me that these guys.
Oscar started out well, but pace-wise, something's getting to him. You think, because it's kind of just slows down, and he might have another spurt there towards the tail end. But it's this middle ground work that is happening in between these 3 minutes where Sturm is doing fairly well.
Stern's at his best when he's just throwing, unfortunately, 1 or 2 punches at a time. That's literally when he's out. He just knows when to pick the shots. I mean, he's landing. You can see he's landing clean. Not much on the shots, but it's just boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Jab. He just paced right here.
Nice right from De La Hoya.
Yeah. As he ate a punch before and after.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
Yeah. I'm surprised they acknowledged that. Nice right hand, man. No, not a word.
Yeah.
Because it's touching. Just a little tap. Little tap. Little tap left hook.
All right.
Interesting.
A little bit of something.
Look at that. They're like, we want to give this round to De La Hoya. Come on.
Right. Give us one more attempt there, De La Hoya. You got it.
Nice jab, man.
Oh, yeah.
Story of the fight.
Yeah. Kind of played out in that capacity where De La Hoya had his spurt there at the beginning, a little bit there at the end. But what about the rest?
I'm telling you, man, they edited those numbers because in the beginning, boy, they were extremely towards De La Hoya. They made the call, man. They said, all right, we can't do it that bad. Look of concern on Dad. Come on, mijo.
Okay, the scores are in. 2 more rounds to go.
2 more rounds. Question is, who needs these last 2 rounds more?
I would say the Golden Boy.
How could you?
Reflecting on my scores.
You gotta erase them real quick. Oh, lefty! Look at you!
What's that? Blow?
May have drifted.
Wow, you get that round of De La Hoya. Why am I not surprised? Told you, finding reasons. Look at that, man. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna switch southpaw. Hit you my jab turn backhand now. Look at that. There was a combination. Gets blocked, gets countered. Bam.
Yeah.
At least he's trying.
Oh yeah. I give it to him there. Sturm, hey,
there was a
back.
body shot he didn't like. He did not like a body shot in there.
Looked like he puffed out his cheeks a bit.
I would say this is the most effective we've seen De La Hoya.
Oh yeah.
He's probably gassed a bit, and also, the body shot. You see leaning down. He's, please don't hit me there, please.
Yeah, I think it's kind of how you alluded to, Alex, breaking that feeling of comfort that Sturm has had.
Yeah, you're gonna see De La Hoya start saying headbutts, low blows. He's gonna look for everything now. I don't remember De La Hoya ever being much of a complainer in the ring. Even though he was seen as the golden boy, you would expect him to be a diva. He's a guy that's always fought.
Yeah, that is true. Interesting round thus far. I felt Oscar was winning it, but Sturm coming back.
I think Sturm's just been too effective, hasn't he? Every shot he's thrown looks to have landed nearly.
Yeah.
Efficient.
He's fucking with him. Literally fucking with him.
This wasn't the script, Felix.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it.
The other way around. He threw a right hand.
Bouncing around now. Sturm is confident.
Oh, yeah.
Confident in this one.
Hell.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one.
Shut the
Lovely.
fuck up.
Yes.
Look at that. Hey, you want to go to the punch stats? How the fuck could he steal that round?
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not saying you should go out. I'm just saying, like, that ain't going to be very good supporting evidence when there was one person that they might have been a little bothered. Yeah, so it is Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that. I'll get my ass whooped. I ain't fucking touching up shit. Oh, yo, for a second, I was like, they're speaking English?
The crew. Hey, Sturm looking confident.
I was going to say, he looks fresh in there. Packed
Right.
house. That's the thing, man. You're on the road, like, going to the fight that we saw yesterday, like, with Catterall. Yeah, the scorecards were in his favor. It's like, bro, you feel like you were robbed last time. You got to fucking go and do, like, you got to make sure you're winning these rounds.
It is true.
You got to give it to Taylor. Taylor made it tough at the end, man. He came back. I mean, he took shots and he brought it right back to Catterall. Look at this shit, man. This is the performance of a lifetime for Sturm. Look at that. Now that. Oh, he's like, nah. Oh, fuck, I can't breathe. You hit me good. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
See, man, it's not about, I hear it all the time, man. Oh, you don't have no power. You don't have no power. He ain't putting shit on these shots. And look at De La Hoya's face. It's busted up. He's winning rounds. But I guess I should shut the fuck up till the scorecards are read.
No, I think you make a great point. We look in the history of the sport. Not everybody's a puncher. The overwhelming majority in the history of the sport aren't those type of punchers and knockout artists. So you gotta commend the guy who can get it done in this fashion, which is in somewhat just as dominant. If you're kind of just scaling a guy, really ripping into them, dominating over the course of the long haul of a fight. Not that Sturm is just definitively just dominating in that fashion, but just for comparison's sake, I'd say.
Yeah, he's fucking him up from the southpaw stand, man. To me, he's dominating. I don't care. Like, there's been rounds where De La Hoya ekes out. Sturm, to me, has been clearly winning when his rounds. I mean, come on.
He's wobbled.
I will say that. It has been clear for sure. We'll see how the scorecard ends up, but yeah, from what we've seen, yeah.
I think there's like one round where I was like, okay, Sturm edged it out, maybe two, but there's been like 5 that I'm like, yo, Sturm round. And look at the way he's ending it. I mean, he went southpaw. He's blasting them with little soft ass left hand.
Yeah.
Oscar's had some nice success in this round, but Sturm's still in control, seemingly.
Yeah, and Sturm is very consistent. And if you look at him over every round, pretty much a consistent performance as far as what he was doing.
See, he's winning this last round. Like, I mean, people say, he's doing it in a way where, like, I mean, look, he's hitting and not getting hit. Like,
right.
He's hitting him a lot more, if you ask me.
Yeah.
A lot cleaner.
I mean, that round's told a story. De La Hoya's come out swinging, knowing that he needs to win that round.
Yeah, even looking at De La Hoya's body language after the bell rang.
He walked off disappointed.
Felix Sturm. Like, yes, sir. I came. I conquered Vegas. This your golden boy? Is this your golden boy?
I can't wait to hear this robbery. It's always fun.
What? Spoilers. I'm not seeing this. Come on.
7 rounds to 5. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
No doubt
Well,
about it, but he added a 2-point win.
Well, that's the first shock. You know, given the first couple of rounds, how that scorecard was going. At least Lederman's come to a sensible score, maybe.
In my particular view. And here's a look at who the judges are who will make the official decision.
Reach 77. Bloody hell.
Maybe they will again. Mike Leanna out of Illinois was scoring for Robert Allen against Hopkins.
Holy shit, he's old.
Yep.
The first one.
Probably no longer here. Well, this is 97.
You know, Moretti's still around.
Oh, yeah. Paul Smith, sure.
Dave Moretti.
Boss gave it 116, 115. Heavy Chevy guy. 115, 113. For the La Hoya, seemingly.
Oh, yeah?
You're a funny guy.
To the scorecard.
Oh, here we go.
All 3 judges, Mike Leanna, Dave Moretti, and Paul Smith scored the bout 115 to 113 for the winner by unanimous decision.
Unanimous.
And new WBO middleweight champion of the world.
What?
The pride of East
Oscar, he has a look on his face. He knows he lost that.
Right. Look at him biting his lip like, fuck. Yep.
That's one of those wins where he's gonna go back low key when he's talking to people like, "Hey, do you think I won that? You think I really won?"
Oh, cool.
Look how happy Oscar looks.
The face of a man that knows he's just won. Right there. Boss says, bad decision. Heavy Chevy guy, wow. He's not even happy. He's probably just taking it all in.
There you go. He's like, oh, another weight class. I deserve this.
Okay, let's go back to our group and see how we all came to our final tallies. All right. Looks like me, Boz, and Alex are all unanimous there. 116 and 112 for Sturm, and even wider, 111 and 117. Wow. So that is probably one of our biggest robberies in inverted brackets that we've done on this channel, I think, at least for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I can remember from conversations around that time, yeah, I think the overwhelming majority felt it was a Sturm win, and he was done a disjustice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Boz had mentioned it way earlier on into the stream that Sturm never fought again in America after this, I believe.
Yeah, I can't blame him. Yeah, certainly can't blame him.
Sad.
I mean, ironically though, Germany was notorious for having bad scorecards over there for their home fighters, weren't they? So, and yeah. I think Sturm might have been on the receiving end of some of them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Potentially, I can't quite recall off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure he had a few gifts during his time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, any final words before we move on that one, Alex, to round us off?
And then to quote the great Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised.
All right. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed that. You all scored along with us. If you have created a scorecard on the system, that'd be great. And next time, make sure that you're in our scoring group. Make sure you join that. There's information in the video description of how to join our scoring group. If you've not already done so, please like the video if you're enjoying yourself. And also, if you don't mind, would you be able to leave a comment as well? Because that'd really help. If you just let us know what you scored, what your final scorecard was, that would be good if you could just post that in the comments. Excellent. Let's move things along because time is flying and we've got a big card to discuss, which is coming up next week. Is it next weekend or is it the weekend after? It's next weekend, isn't it? The 1st, I think. The 1st of June.
Weekend coming up now.
It's Queensbury versus Matchroom. Yeah. This is a little bit of an unprecedented event, and we all welcome it. We want to see the best boxers face the best, and usually the promoters hold them back oftentimes. As we always discuss on here, you know, oh no, he's with Top Rank and he's with somebody else, and it's not going to happen. But you know, over in the UK, the Saudi money has made Eddie and Frank become friends. We're getting a good event. I'm going to try and get the information up, which I've not done beforehand because, you know, I'm underprepared.
I'd like to see a PBC versus Top Rank or something like that, you know. Golden Boy versus Top Rank, Golden Boy versus PBC. Interesting.
We just want to see the best fight the best, don't we? Essentially. That's what it comes down to. Right, let me just present a different screen to you all. And we'll get this up.
And I will say that I like what the Saudis have done as far as how they're marketing these contests as well. Putting a lot behind them, you can tell.
You mean like with the kind of like the video productions and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
The means in which they go about that.
Yeah, they're doing some really good stuff.
Yeah, I just showed my girlfriend the trailer for 5v5. She thought it was pretty cool.
I don't think I've still not seen that one yet. I'll have to go and have a look after the screen. After the stream.
I'm gonna check it out.
Apologies, Alex.
You might have to do it right now. No, it is 5 minutes long.
All right. No. I was going to say, well, maybe we could, but not if it's 5 minutes. Okay. I've got it up now. It's a bit of a random order because obviously I think Boxrec puts it in their stars order. But let's go. Where should we start? Someone pick somewhere to start off.
I guess the fight that was to be that no longer has one of the opponents. I guess Dimitri Bivol. I guess that was essentially going to be the marquee one.
Do you think so? I'm not too sure. Do you think it's going to be still like the last fight?
Oh, I don't know about now, but with the previous opponent, it was going to be the marquee fight.
Yeah. Well, we'll start there. We might as well. We'll get it over and out of the way. Bivol versus Malik Sinad. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. Go on, Josh. You throw it out there first.
Yeah, Josh, give us a prediction on this fight.
Dimitri Bivol, dominant victory.
Next. Okay, Alex.
Yeah, I got Bivol by destruction. The thing is, the biggest question: knockout or decision? I mean, the guy's 22-0. I don't know anyone he's beat. Like I said, we don't even know how to pronounce his name properly, which is. I don't want to disrespect the guy. No. It's just, fuck, we're supposed to get undisputed. And now we're seeing Malik Sinad, who's from Libya and resides in Malta. So, I mean, listen, they wanted to keep him active. We want him active. We want him, fine-tuned. Better BF. It's another time where he's pulled out. I think it's about the 4th time where he's pulled out of a fight due to injury. And, when he comes back, he usually comes back stronger. It's very abnormal how this keeps occurring. It's very abnormal, like his test results. It's very abnormal how he remains to be close to 40 years old and he's knocking everyone, the fuck out. So if I was Bivol, I would have keep an abnormal approach to, what to expect from Better BF once they do reschedule it, because it's probably going to be an abnormal fight with an abnormal ending and an abnormal result. Man, why do I keep saying abnormal?
Okay, that's that one out of the way. Next, let's go to the heavyweights. Why not? Let's start with Wilder versus Zhilei Zhang. Fun fight, exciting fight. What's Wilder got left? Zhang's up there in age as well. Both coming off losses. Alex, we'll go to you first on this one. Are you excited by it? Does it interest you? Who do you think wins? Prediction, go.
Excited? I'm not too sure. Interested,
Intrigued.
absolutely.
Intrigued.
We all want to see, heavyweights that can knock each other out in the ring. Deontay Wilder, the biggest puncher we've probably ever seen in our lifetime for sure. Zhilei, big bang zang. He's telling you they're gonna go in there and they're gonna bang. However you want to interpret that. Zhang had the big knockout over Joe Joyce. I was calling for Joe Joyce versus Deontay Wilder, and now I'm accepting of this fight. Yeah, let's get in the ring. I want to see two guys knock each other out. Is Wilder gonna go in there try to do hammer fist? Or he's going to go in there and show why they called it, the big Alabama slammer, with that right hand. Molineer is what I call it. Let's get in there. Let's see what happens. I expect one of these guys to have the lights out. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be Wilder that gets knocked out. Zhilei Zhang, under 7.
Under 7. Okay. Nice. Josh, what's yours prediction on that one?
What Alex said, all the above, but I think it's going to be an even shorter fight. I don't see it going past 2 rounds in favor of Zhang.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, Wilder.
Short and sweet.
We love you.
And I will say this, Zhang is going to be the bigger fighter. But one of the things about Wilder, for all his success, I think a lot of that power has been, from the top. If you really look at his legs, very skinny legs, so he's not generating it in that fashion. And I just think the size of Zhang is just going to be in play. And he can box as well. He's pretty skilled, certainly by comparison to Wilder.
Yeah,
Don't get it twisted. They both can knock each other out. It's just it's hard to pick Wilder based off the last performance. It's just hard.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Heavy Chevy guy says Zhang by KO. Boz has said Zhang by winning to KO 3 rounds 3 or 4. Wilder's best days are past him, and that is absolutely true. He's getting on in age. So Zhang, it's an intriguing fight. I think I agree with both of you. Actually, I think Zhang will win. I'm not sure if he'll do it quite as quick as what some of you are predicting. I think I'm more with Alex in terms of maybe getting towards the middle rounds, possibly. But yeah, I think Zhang will get the job done. Let's go on to the next heavyweight fight as well then. Daniel Dubois versus Filip Hrgović. This might possibly be the closest one in terms of odds. I'm not too sure.
Actually, it's Wilder Zhang.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Shocking, right?
Yeah. And I'd actually be quite intrigued as to who's the favourite for this one. I assume Dubois might be just about a favourite for some reason.
Not on the US books.
Oh, is he not?
Hrgović, I think he's like a 2-to-1 favorite. I guess you would put it.
Okay.
He's like minus 200, I think.
Yeah.
Minus 275. No, I think it was like minus 275 on my books last time I checked.
We'll have to go and check that out. But yeah, this is really interesting, really intriguing fight. Obviously, Hrgović been around for a long time, but only had 17 fights. And just, he was supposed to be the next big thing. I always say that when we talk about Hrgović. Not quite lived up to that initial hype, I don't think. Decent Olympic pedigree, amateur pedigree, I think. Dubois obviously was thrown in quite young, and he got beat up by Joyce, and then he lost to Usyk. Alex thinks he should be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, though.
Without the 4th belt.
Josh, we'll come to you first on this one. Give us a pick and how you think this one goes.
Interesting, as you noted. Interesting fight for sure. Daniel Dubois, of course, he's coming off a win over Jarrell Miller, who came in at 300 and something pounds, of course, and who knows? But Miller was putting up a fight, I will say. But yeah, who knows what kind of litmus test that really is. But also put up a good fight against Alexander Usyk. Some thought he won. That body shot was right there on the belt line. Definitely did not look like a clean low blow. And some of us, of course, were wondering how Dubois would do in a contest with the likes of an Usyk, but he showed himself to be do fairly well, in moments there in that fight, in rounds, and of course the marquee round where he was able to drop Usyk. Now, Hrgović, this guy been touted since he stepped into the ranks and his name started to get out there. He's fought over here in the U.S. So I've actually followed him for a good bit, and there are a lot of people who have a lot of promise for him as far as where they expected him to be at this stage and where he was headed here in the heavyweight division. And I think he's lived up to some of that kind of hype or whatnot, and he got a great win over Zhang that looks better and better as the days go on, and that was a close win for him, and he went through a little bit of adversity in that fight and overcame it. Big puncher, Dubois, big puncher. It's going to come down to that pedigree, and it's hard to not think Hrgović, but I think Dubois will put up a fight. But I think that if push comes to shove and one of them are pushed to that breaking point, I'm going to lean on the side of Hrgović. So I'm going to say a late stoppage for Hrgović, because I think the two will have their moments, have their exchanges. And then as we get down there towards the tail end, I think that Hrgović will be able to get him out of there, which has tended to be the case in the two losses that Dubois has. It's usually come a little bit later in the fights. So, but I'm expecting a very good fight, though.
Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment, I think. I just had a quick look over on the odds just while you was talking there, Josh, and Hrgović is just a slight favourite, but I mean, it's pretty much 50-50 now.
Yeah.
You can get 4 to 9, so £4 for every 9 that you'd put on for Hrgović, and what's the best for Dubois? £19 for every £10 that you put on. So yeah, it's pretty close. It's about as close as you get really for boxing. Alex, your prediction and pick for this one as well, please.
It's interesting. Hrgović, was seen as basically, like, they called him a boogeyman, a monster. And then, unfortunately, his dad passes away before the Zhang fight. And when he goes in that fight, he gets dropped. And we've seen the side of Hrgović we've never seen before. A guy using his footwork, a guy moving, turning his back, too. It was really weird. He gets a decision that many people felt that Zhang won. I had it very close. I think I had Zhang winning because of the knockdown. Then he fights Dempsey McKean, right? Very uninspired fight. McKean, not seen as a great heavyweight, but a decent one. I think he spars a lot in the UK. He has a bit of buzz there. But, then he gets a stoppage in the last round. And then, they give him a straight layup in Saudi. I mean, it was like the Mori, I think his name was. So, since I hate to mention it, but since his father's passed, he hasn't made it look the same. And then you got Dubois. I thought he was going to beat Joyce. He gets stopped. Takes a knee because his eye's all fucked. Gets a couple decent, tune-ups. And then you had the Lorena fight, man. Looks like, did he have a leg injury? Gets dropped 3 times. But 2 rounds later, stops Lorena. The Usyk fight. The body shot, right? Thinks he knocks him down and then gets worn down, gets beat up and stopped. That Miller fight I think it changed so much perspective. Everyone was worried that Miller would be able to overwhelm him. Yeah. And Dubois, he did pretty well. Towards the middle rounds, Miller started coming on. Everyone was like, hold on, here we go. This is it. He showed he has toughness. He showed the grit that people thought he didn't have. And finishes Miller right towards the end of the fight. So I would say Dubois is a little bit more up than Hrgović at this time. However, I'm going to hold that Hrgović is going to find who he was prior to, the life-changing event. And I think basically the same thing as Josh. I'm going to go KO 7-12 Hrgović. Okay.
Yeah, I'm along the same lines as you. I'm just kind of picking up on what Josh said. Is you kind of go off the form and the precedent, and we're seeing Dubois being broken down and stopped eventually. And I think Hrgović has got the size, the quality, the tools to do that. And like you said there, Alex, we've probably not seen the best of what Hrgovic's potential possibly is. And as we know, as heavyweights, they can develop a little bit later on. He's 31 years old, so he's still definitely got time to produce some quality stuff. And let's hope that that's what we see, because I think soon the heavyweight division could be lacking, really. And we need Hrgović to be one of those guys that really steps up and maybe become one of the next big players. So, I'd go with Hrgović on that one. Dubois still really young. He'll still come again. He'll have lots of other options going forward, even if he has a third loss. And particularly, with the heavyweight scene in the UK, it's still pretty vibrant. So he'll have plenty of options going forward. Let's move it along. We'll go to the top of this screen now. Hamza Shiraz versus Dustin Williams. This is a great fight. I know there's a lot of interest in this one. A lot of people think this might be the best fight on the card. Alex, we'll come to you first on this one. How do you see this one going? What do you make of the fight? Who do you think comes out on top?
Yeah, I was very surprised. These are two guys I think that, been built by, their own promotions. Ammo, I think, has been developing a little bit longer at a higher level, but kind of seems to have stalled out. I think maybe probably to some of his actions outside the ring, he's done it to himself. Inside the ring, he's a very good fighter, very solid guy. But there's been a couple of times where maybe we believe he should, we're expecting a stoppage, and he goes and, he outpoints him. Now, that's very good experience. However, when Hamza got him with a guy that we expect to knock out, such as Liam Williams, first round, night. This guy has been taking care of everybody. He fought River Wilson Bent, 2 rounds, bye-bye. When he fought Ammo, it took Ammo 8 rounds, and it was kind of I wouldn't say back and forth, but it was, kind of competitive in a sense. It kind of seemed like River Bent still had a opportunity to maybe, make adjustments to go ahead and come, get the advantage over Austin, which didn't happen, obviously. So I got to say, I have to favor Hamza. Hamza. I got to watch a little more of Hamza, but from the little I've seen, nice straight punches, good power. And just with Ammo, it's always like I had this expectation and he never meets it. So,
yeah,
why is that? I'm Hamza, this decision, not confident decision. We'll say that from now.
Okay, I was just quickly looking there. I thought, Hamza's he's a tall fighter. He's 6'3", but Austin Williams ain't small, is he? He's 6 foot at middleweight, so he's a decent size himself. So that might not be a huge factor. Although I think Hamza's got a really, really long reach.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, very interesting. Josh, give us your take on that one.
I'm honestly kind of in the same view as Alex here. I have seen a number of Ammo Williams fights, and I honestly haven't been overly impressed, to be honest. I just haven't been overly impressed. He's done some good things, and I think this will be sort of that test for sure with Shiraz, and certainly the way Shiraz dispatched of Liam Williams. I thought that's an example of how you approach it when you're a young fighter with expectations. You're in there with a veteran who they say is on the downslide. You go prove that, and I thought Shiraz did that. And I think that length is going to be something interesting for Ammo Williams, who I think will battle back if he's put in a tough position. But just over the course of a contest, I just like the look of Shiraz just overall from his boxing ability and the way he uses his length and works the jab. And he seems to be able to punch pretty well. So hopefully it's a good fight, because this is the type of test that I've been looking for Ammo Williams. And he had been rumored over the last 2 years, I would say, it seems at this point, to fight to be matched up with Dalton Smith at some point, but apparently that never materialized. So this is that real test since mention of Dalton Smith, and if he passes this, hey, I will be fairly impressed with Mo Williams, and I'll think he's the goods. But based on what I've seen thus far, I just think Shiraz is just a bit of a better fighter.
Okay. I think I'm going to go along with that as well. I think Shiraz, I'm going to go with points. I think he'll win on points. I don't think he's going to keep up his streak of knockouts.
Oh, man, it's just a knockout.
I think Austin Williams is probably more of a trickier, well-seasoned, better boxer than Hamza Shiraz's faced probably ever so far. So it is a step up, probably a step up for both of them, really. But yeah, I just think he'll be cagey enough to not get stopped. But I think Shiraz will probably win on points. I just had a quick look on the odds, and Shiraz is the favourite. He's 1-2, and you get 2-1 on Williams. So not a massive favourite, but still a favourite nonetheless. Next, Raymond Ford, Nick Ball, another interesting fight. Josh, yeah, we'll go first with you.
Good fight. I like Nick Ball. I thought he showed, hey, he's gritty. You got to like him. He's always shown that good deal, but even more so in that fight with Ray Vargas last time out, in a fight that many people feel that Nick Ball should have won. And Nick Ball started slow in that fight, but he came on late. And despite having such an advantage, or Ray Vargas having such an advantage in height and reach, Ball found a way to close that distance, and he's really giving it to Ray Vargas, especially there at the tail end. Now, Raymond Ford, I've seen a number of his fights. I still always stand behind when he fought, I believe it's Eddie Vasquez or someone on there. I think so I think that he lost that fight and they gave him a decision. And Vasquez, he can box, and Raymond Ford, since then, he's bounced back, got some good wins. And he showed that he's very, very tough in that Kolmatov fight, but he was losing on the cards and able to find a way to get a stoppage. Nick Ball, man, I haven't seen anything be able to stop this sort of wrecking ball that is Nick Ball. And I think that he has the ability to stop Raymond Ford. So I'm going to go with a late knockout, mid to late knockout there for Nick Ball over Raymond Ford in what should be a good fight right here. But yeah, I just think that Nick Ball has a bit more of what I would say would be that kind of that grit, that overall just tenacity and that want for that victory. And I think it will show it in just based on what I've seen thus far. And his power seems to be pretty much real, but salute to Raymond Ford because he has come a long way. But yeah, I don't know that he'll hold that belt for very long. I never felt he'd hold it for very long based on that win he got in his last contest. So those are my thoughts there.
All right, Alex, your predictions on this one?
I'm sorry, I'm just a little taken aback that he said that Nick Ball has more grit. Let me ask you, has Nick Ball ever been down on the cards against an undefeated puncher and stopped him in the last 10 seconds of a fight? Who got more? How could you say he got more grit? Raymond Ford? No. But honestly, man, what a fucking fight. Nick Ball is, he's everything that I think people give him credit for. He is a mean little motherfucker in there, man. He is a little small, skinny bulldog. You know what I mean? He's a pit terrier, straight up bull terrier. Yeah. He's a wrecking ball. That's how I always describe him. He's a wrecking ball. He goes in there. He ain't in there to, jab. He's not in there to look good. He's in there to, he's in there to knock your head around. And he's been doing well at it. Raymond Ford, man, he's more seen as a boxer, but like I mentioned, he went ahead. He started pressing forward towards the power puncher, and he earned his TKO victory. A little controversy, especially because I bet on Otobek to win. And, there was a little bit of a strange ending because it looked like he hurt himself. But he was getting his ass whooped towards the end. And, it's within the referee. You turn your back. You get hit on the ropes. Sometimes you'll be like Tyson Fury or sometimes you'll be like Otobek. So, yeah, Raymond Ford, very skilled fighter. Guy, very young, too, 25 years old. They've been bringing him up. Like you said, had that close fight with Edward Vasquez. You know who else had a close fight with Edward Vasquez? Joe Cordina, champion. So I think people are learning, and they brought him up in weight. Keep that in mind. You're learning that, Edward Vasquez is a good fighter. Look at that. Reese Belotti. Everyone knows that guy in the UK. That guy's tough. My man Ray Ford got him out of there. Now you got Nick Ball. He fought Ray Vargas, who fights once every 14 months, and he get a draw. He couldn't get him out of there. The only thing I'm worried about is the weight cut. They said it's very hard for Ford. He's been talking about moving up. A little reminiscent of George Cordina, just, the words are a little bit, I'd rather hear it from the way Ford says it than Mr. Cocky Cordina. I'm going with Ray Ford. USA, let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, now he's done that, I might have to be swayed to go for the Brit. I don't know. I think this is close. I think this is going to be a close fight, man. I think Ford might just be skilled enough to cause Nick Ball too many problems. He is the favourite. I just had a quick look. He's the favourite for this. Again, it's very, very tight. It's almost a 50-50 evens for each fighter, but Ray Ford is the very slight favourite. And yeah, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to box to a decision. I think Nick Ball will just come a little bit short, no pun intended. He won't be able to land those massive punches on him. So yeah, I'm just going to go with that. I would love Nick Ball to win this, actually, because I think he's a great fighter, a fun fighter to watch. I'm not going to do a USA or UK chant. We don't do that shit over here.
Yeah, well, never mind. I'm not going to say why.
Yeah, that wraps that one up. Okay. We covered the main ones. I mean, Willie Hutchinson with Craig Richards is the kind of the less desirable fight, I guess, on the card. It's a nice fight. Willie Hutchinson had an upset loss a little while back. I think he's had a few wins.
A decent guy
on the quiet.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that guy even fights anymore.
Oh, Clark.
Inactive. Got beat off.
Mark
Heffernan. Interesting.
Last night. So yeah, he's had a few comeback wins. I think on low key events at York Hall. Willie Hutchinson, but yeah, Craig Richards is a bit of a veteran. He's been in with some decent names, and ultimately he loses to the big ones, Bivol and Boatsi.
Solid light heavyweight though, man.
He's decent. He's decent. He lost to Frank Buglio only quite a few years ago now. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a good test for Willie Hutchinson. He'll probably be the favourite, and I'm thinking he'll probably win. I think Craig Richards is, he's 34 years old. He's probably coming to the end of his career. What do you make of this one, Josh? Give us a final prediction for this, and then we'll
I'm kind of with you there. Solid fighter there. Solid light heavy, as Alex mentioned. That being Craig Richards. But I might lean Hutchinson in this one. I won't say that I'm overly strong in any direction, but yeah, I give Hutchinson the edge probably for a decision. As you mentioned, there is that age difference. I think Richards is a good test for some of these younger light heavyweights when you're trying to see exactly where they are at that stage and the potential moving forward. So I think he can likely get over Richards, and I see. Yeah. So I'm going to go decision as well, just based on what I know of the two fighters.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, I've seen very little Willie Hutchinson, but I always hear actually really good things about him. And he was actually a world level amateur. I think he won the junior world championships, and like David Morrell had one in the weight class above him. I hear people saying a couple dudes that couple guys that I know that actually know about Willie. They say that they think he matches up well with David Morrell. So maybe that's something to look forward to the future. Willie Hutchinson is actually plus money here in the States. It was a bit wider. I think it was like plus 150 or plus 140 when open. Now it's plus 115. So if you're in the U.S., I think Willie Hutchinson is probably someone to look at. I have to look more into it, but I think I might just lock in Willie Hutchinson at plus money. Just to go ahead, because I think, like you said, it's just kind of seems set up for Willie to win. Probably get Craig a nice payday. Shout out Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. But it's just probably, Richards is, on the decline and Hutchinson is reaching his prime. So, I mean, we'll see. But, just off of the things I've heard and the little I've seen of Willie, I'm giving it him. I'm going to just go ahead and make that my prediction. Willie Hutchinson money line, baby.
Yeah. No, I just had a quick look since you said that. And over here, Craig Richards is the favourite. Again, very, very close. So it's another well-matched fight. Like I say, they're not exactly matched for one of them to win because it's rival promoters. So, but yeah, no, it's another intriguing fight, and it will be a test for Willie Hutchinson. Like you did say, he was highly touted over here. Well, when he was coming up before he suffered that shock defeat. So he should really, if he's going to go to the levels that he was expected to get to, then he probably should be beating Craig Richards essentially. So
this is the time to show out.
Exactly.
Yeah, this would be a good win on the ledger right here.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. I think that wraps us up for this one. Thank you both. We've gone quite long. We're over 2 hours.
There goes 130 right there. 130 fighter right there, O'Shaquie Foster.
Featured in his number one box rec t-shirt. I bet all the fighters crave that, don't they, these days, as well as any belt they can get hold of. Okay, Josh, are you off to do a podcast over on 86 Boxing, you and Boz?
Yeah, we're going to do a quick little discussion over there on 86 Boxing, so feel free to drop through or drop by, come through.
Yeah, make sure you head over to 86 Boxing. If not now, then at some point in the future, give him a like and subscribe. If you've not already done it here, please give us this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed what we've brought for you today. We'll be doing more of these in the future. Next one should be in 2 weeks' time, and then we can talk about all the excitement of June the 15th, which I know you're excited about, Alex. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a couple of weeks to talk about it. All right, boys. Any last words?
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out to Xander Zayas, headlining his first card June 8th and over there in New York against former world champion Patrick Teixeira. And I just wanted to make, I got an announcement. I am back in camp. I'm supposed to be in a USA boxing fight September 14th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's called Border Wars. You can actually find it on usaboxing.org, the event. So right now, camp has officially started. I'm excited. It'll be my first one, and it's going to be an actual amateur bout. And also, just to, on our way out, I have a little bit of a joke. So I mentioned earlier that Felix Sturm, they had him fighting out of Hamburg, Germany, right?
Okay.
Did you know people from Hamburg are called hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
All right, I'm done. All right, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I had to get that off.
I've been to Hamburg.
You met hamburgers, okay.
Didn't call anyone a hamburger. But I became a hamburger.
All right.
Just for the weekend. All right. Okay, we'll end on that high note. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you again in the not too distant future. Thank you both for taking some time out and hanging with me this afternoon.
For sure, man.
Anytime.
Take it easy, everyone. We'll see you later.